It's a rainy Super Bowl weekend. What can we do? How about a little rock hounding? Kendra and I are out here at one of my favorite rock bars along the Colorado River, trying to find some fun rocks to tumble. Hopefully we'll get some good ones. Wish us luck. I was just going to cut back to the shop showing the rocks that I found all cleaned up, but this one is so cool I had to film it while I was out here. Look at all the fossils in this rock. Those little turritellas. Wow. And the nice thing is these are fossilized within the chert, the silica-rich compound, which means this stuff does polish beautifully. It's not like those limestone fossils that we find in other areas. But man, can you imagine what this will look like? I'll have to decide what to do with it. Heck, I may just leave this one as is. What a great find. Welcome back to my little studio. It's now officially Super Bowl Sunday. Let's take a look at some of the interesting rocks that we found out there along the Colorado River. As usual, I had to find a couple of pieces of petrified wood. You can see a couple of these pieces are very raw looking. They don't show any of the river tumbling effect, but one piece that I found, this piece, which I believe is petrified wood, looks like it's been in the coarse grit for several weeks. That's what some river tumbling will do over, well, I guess millions of years. Now here are a couple of quartzy rocks that I think will make good tumblers. This one, well here you can still see it's a little damp on this side, has lots of the little striations in it, and it's already very well river tumbled, which means it won't take me too long in the coarse grit before I can move it onto the polishing. This one is really interesting here. I believe it's quartz, but you can see it has, well, something in there that, thanks to differential weathering, stands out quite a bit, those two little stripes. When you get it wet, it appears like there's some translucency there as well. So this one should tumble up and be really interesting, don't you think? I found this one little agate rock. Not much of an agate, I know, but it does have some banding in it. Let me get it wet and show you. Now I think you can see what I'm talking about. You see that fine banding around the edge there? Yeah, I know it's not great, but hey, I'll take any agate I can find. This one will make a nice tumbler piece. I'll just smooth out and polish the agate edges. This coarse stuff will probably still be coarse when I'm done with it. And I think the ultimate final polished piece will look really cool. And speaking of agates, I found this big chunk of some sort of agate material. It's probably just one of our fairly common Central Texas agates, but it has some things that make me think it might be a little more special. This will be good for slabbing. I can't really tell what's going to be on the inside. I can tell with the light here that it is, in fact, as you can see, translucent for sure, but it's coated with all this, this skin. So I don't know, will it be interesting? This might be a slabbing video at some point. Now these last rocks are really cool. These are the fossil rocks that I find out there along the Colorado River. Check out some of these. This first one I believe is some kind of coral, and you can really see the effect here when it's wet and when I show you up close there. See those tiny little, I don't even know what you call it, those little patterns in there, kind of like stars. I have to check and see if this is hard enough to take a good tumble, because I'd like to tumble and polish this one if it's capable. We'll see. Here's a fossil rock that appears to be made entirely of shell fragments. Look at that in there. Just thousands of little tiny shells, little sea creatures, all fell to the bottom of the sea and died and turned into this rock. This might be a fun one to face polish. This one shows that little gastropod. You can just make it out right there. Plus a lot of other little shells in here. Oh, there's another little like turritella right there. This is a good size and shape to tumble. And this should take a great polish, so I'll probably turn this one into a tumbling video. After several weeks of coarse grit tumbling, this one should be nice and smooth, and those fossils should really stand out. And it also will take a brilliant shine in my experience, so keep an eye out for that video. Now these two fossil rocks are quite similar in that they show the larger shell fossils in there. I'm not even going to bother getting these two very wet because it's so obvious when you look. just loaded up with fossils. Look at all that in there. I might slab these. If we get lucky, we'll cut through some really interesting shells and get some great patterns to work with in, let's say, making a capuchon. This one doesn't look too special on this side. Maybe if you look closely, you can make out, well, maybe some fossils in there. It's this side that I really like. This is what caught my eye when I was out there. Here you can see those little gastropods, those little turritella type fossils just laying there. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, you can really see it right there. That one is very clear. So this is sort of a death plate kind of rock, and I thought this would be a fun one to face polish too. Maybe put it on the flat lap, get this flat and polished, and try to bring out all those different shells. What do you think? Of course, I had to save the best fossil rock for last. I showed you this out in the field. I want to show you again. This one has an amazing amount of those turritella fossils in it. They are just everywhere on this thing. Wow. This will be great to, well, I'm going to probably tumble this one. It's a little big, but I think if I can tumble it and get a great polish on it, this will be a showstopper of a rock. Look at all those. This thing was just a complete colony of those little turritella. Although I'm not sure what that little saw-looking thing is right there. But look at the different sizes. Like, see that little teeny one right there at the tip of my nail? And then you got the larger ones. They were just all different sizes. How fun is that? What a cool rock. I'm so glad I spotted this one. This will be, I think, something really special. Keep an eye out for that video as well. And I'd like to end with this rock, which doesn't look like much, right? You're looking at this thinking, why in the heck would he end on that rock? Well, I'll tell you why. Because my little sweetheart handed me this rock out there. She gave it to me for Valentine's Day. Look at that heart. Oh, that was so sweet. I thought, what a great gift. That's a very nice looking heart rock. So thank you, Kendra. Thank you all so much for joining me on this little rock hounding adventure. I know I didn't show a lot of the actual rock hounding, but it was a little mucky out there and I didn't want to film a lot. So I want you to see, though, the kinds of rocks we were finding out along the Colorado River near Smithville, Texas. Now it's time to get ready to watch the big game. Hopefully have a fun evening eating junk food and watching football. Thanks all. Appreciate it. Don't forget to check my other videos for more like this. Thanks again.